Welcome to SD Productions and our second series. In this series we will be looking at track days, how to obtain a race license, the typical race weekend, flags, how classes are determined, the bikes, and how championships work. And we'll also have a special episode on road racing. We hope you enjoy the show. So a typical race weekend, guys, can run like this. At club level it will vary from 1 to 3 day events. A 3-day event will include a test day or a track day on the Friday. On the first race day, which will be day 2, there will be a qualifying session in the morning for each class. And then in the afternoon and a little bit before lunch there will be racing for the rest of the day. Then on the third day, race day 2, there will be a warm-up in the morning, which is basically just to go out there, which is basically just a practice session. So yeah, you'll go out, do that in the morning. Most of them are optional nowadays. It's not forced, it's just if you need to go out there for a bit more track time. And then I'll be racing after the warm-ups are finished. Now if there's a 2-day event, there might not be a track day or a test day on the Friday, it'll just be a 2-day race event. So they'll be qualifying on Saturday morning, racing the rest of the day, and then warm-up on Sunday morning, and then rest of the racing in the afternoon. Or some clubs don't run a warm-up. So a 1-day event will have the qualifying in the morning, followed by racing in the rest of the afternoon. But before any track action can get underway, guys, you need to get your bike and kit scrutineered, sign on, and on the morning of the first race event, you'll have to get your voice noise tested. I'm joking. No, you'll have to get your bike noise tested. So what is scrutineering, I hear you ask? Well, scrutineering is where the technical control team will examine your bike, make sure it's all safe to run. So they'll check, make sure the front end's stable, so when you go to brake the handlebars aren't going to fly off or do anything ridiculous. They'll make sure everything's tight, there's no sharp edges on the handlebars and the foot pegs. And they'll just give everything a good major check over, make sure your bike isn't leaking and make sure things are tight. And they'll also check your rain light, your engine and frame numbers, just to make sure your bike isn't nicked. So it is an ACU requirement to have a rain light and a brake lever guard. Now the rain light has to be on the rear of the bike and has to be seen at 15-degree angles, at 15 degrees from either side of the bike, and it has to be a solid red light. So on the kit front, guys, they will check helmet, gloves, boots and leathers. So we'll start at the top. Helmet, they will check for any damage on your helmet, and they'll also make sure that you have a gold ACU stamp on the back of your helmet. Now they'll also just check, make sure it fits properly and it's snug. Gloves, they will check for holes in the gloves and just the general condition. Same again with the leathers, if there's any big holes in them, they won't pass, obviously. And they'll also check your boots to make sure they're not worn through at the bottoms and just give them a good check over, really. So next is signing on. Signing on is basically like a register, if you will. Now when you do enter an event, you will receive an information pack containing your tickets, final instructions and a scrutineering card. Now obviously when you go to scrutineering, you take your scrutineering card and they will check your bike, and once it's fit to run they'll put a scrutineering pass sticker on the front of your bike and they'll also sign your card. Now you take that with you to the lovely guys and girls in race admin once it's signed. And yeah, you also take your license, and if you haven't paid before the event you have to take your wallet as well. It's a shame, but it has to be done. So the next and final thing, guys, before hitting the track is noise testing. Now before you turn up at the event, like I said, you'll receive an information pack containing tickets, scrutineering card, final instructions, blah blah blah. On your final instructions there will be, it will tell you the noise limit for that track. And on that morning of the first race day you will be noise tested. Now when you pull up to noise test you will be asked to keep your bike at a certain revs, and then they will shove a prong in your exhaust and see if your bike is quiet enough to go out. Now if it isn't, you'll be told to go and sort it out, put a baffle in or change cam. And if it's good enough, you'll get a thumbs up and a sticker on the front of your bike and told to go and get ready.